From the streets to the studio, we bring you real talk, real music.
Yes, it's a beautiful Saturday morning to you listeners out there. And this is your delectable sports program, Sports Diaries. I am Sports Diva, and this morning, of course, as usual, I will be taking you on an eventful ride through the world of sports, ranging from the latest sports update, expert analyses, and exciting highlights in the sporting arena. So get ready, get set, and let's get this game off. Yes, beginning stronger from the NNL, where we've got this one on offer. And Aqua United players, Aqua United head coach Paul Offer has charged his players to remain focused ahead of the remaining fixtures in the Nigerian National League NNL this season. The young tactician gave the charge after the team's final training session before departing to Oshobo. Offer he emphasized the importance of approaching each game with a winning mentality. He said, and I quote, the remaining 6 matches are very crucial for us, and we cannot afford to be complacent. We must remain focused and ensure we make the most of our chances. We are not yet where we want to be, and we have to sustain our current momentum by showing consistency in our performance. We have reached a stage in our campaign where we must approach every match like a Cups final. We cannot gamble with our chances. We must be fully prepared to fight and win together, because our objective is to finish this season stronger. And that was coming from no other person but Aqua United head coach Paul Offer. Yes, moving on, we have got this fresh one coming from Victor Boniface. Bayer Leverkusen striker Victor Boniface has given supporters a glimpse of his recovery from injury, posting a video on his social media showing him nutmegging a defender in a match and captioning it in a single word soon. The Nigerian forward has not featured for Leverkusen this season after his knee cartilage problem he had been managing since last summer eventually forced him off the pitch in December, leading to surgery in January. He had been on loan at Werder Bremen, but the German club ruled out his return due to his fitness concern. Boniface, who turned 25 in December, has endured a difficult injury history, having suffered 2 anterior cruciate ligament tears before the age of 21. Despite this setback, he rebuked his career at Bodo Glimt before earning a move to Leverkusen, where he played a key role in their historic Bundesliga title triumph in his debut season and won the League Rookie of the Season award. The 42-second clip circulating on social media shows Boniface moving sharply and executing a nutmeg in what appeared to be a match for Leverkusen, drawing a wave of reaction from Nigerian football fans who have followed his recovery closely. Boniface managed just 2 assists for Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga this season. Yes, moving on, where I've got this on the 2026 WAFCON, and this is coming from Plumtree. Super Falcons defender Ashley Plumtree has slammed the Confederation of African Football CAF over the postponement of the Women African Cup of Nations WAFCON. He said that changes like this do not usually happen in other football events. She made this comment during a video interview and was shared by BBC Match of the Day. The Alita defender commented after CAF announced the tournament date had been changed from March 17 to April 3rd, 2026 in Morocco to July 25 to August 16, 2026. CAF made the change because of unexpected problems with planning and organizing the event. After talking with global football leaders and other people involved in the competition, Plumtree said she felt unhappy about when the postponement was decided, saying it just would not happen to other tournaments in women football and especially in men football. Last WAFCON wasn't less important than this one just because it wasn't qualification for a World Cup. She said the continental competition should stay the same no matter what. Bigger goals or pressure are connected to them. Yes, moving on, where I've got this on the Super Eagles, and this is coming directly from no other person but Sunday Olise, from a Nigerian head coach. Sunday Olise has had Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman to lead the Super Eagles to win titles in their near future. Olise praised the pair as a top talent, connoting that their impressive performance in the Champions League with Galatasaray and Atletico Madrid respectively. In the recent episodes of his Global Football Inside podcast, the ex-Juventus midfielder said, "We have 2 top Nigerian players currently excelling in the Champions League. Osimhen is doing well and Lookman also doing exceptionally well. All we Nigerians need now is for these 2 top players to lead the team, Super Eagles, and for the others to follow, and you will have it." But Lookman and Osimhen played key roles in securing the bronze medal for Super Eagles during the 2025 AFCON tournament in Morocco. Yes, moving on, where I've got this on Osimhen and Ndidi. Nigerian 2 most prominent players in the Turkish Super League, Victor Osimhen and Wilfred Ndidi, are set to go head-to-head on Saturday, that is today, when Galatasaray travel to Besiktas in a high-stake Istanbul derby that could have significant implications for the title race. The contest carries a added layer of intrigue for Nigerian football fans as it pits the country's captain against vice-captain and one of its most lethal attackers. 2 players who are shared the dressing room at the 2025 AFCON in Morocco, when Ndidi led the team as a skipper and Osimhen fired 4 goals to have Nigeria finished 3rd. Osimhen remains the most valuable player in the Super League with a market value of €75 million and has been in outstanding form across all competitions this season. The former Napoli striker scored 10 league goals, 7 in the UEFA Champions League and 4 at AFCON, underlining his status as one of the most dangerous forwards in European football. He returned from injury to score and assisting Galatasaray's most recent league win over Allianzspor, and is expected to lead the 9 at the Tupra Stadium today. Galatasaray heading to the derby as Super League leaders, holding 4-point advantage against second place Fenerbahce with 58 points. Okan Buruk's side have been competing on 3 fronts this season and reached the Champions League round of 16 for the first time since 2014, where they will face Liverpool next week Tuesday. Ndidi, who joined Besiktas last summer, has been equally influential on the other side of the city. The defensive midfielder has made 18 league appearances, providing defensive foundation upon which Besiktas have built an impressive 18-match unbeaten run across all competition. He scored his second league goal of the season, a 90-minute header from a corner in a 4-0 demolition of Göztepe last weekend, and earned the Man of the Match award. The result extended Besiktas' unbeaten run in the league to 13 matches and moved them to 4th in the table with 46 points. Head coach Sergen Yalcin has transformed Besiktas into genuine title race disruptor since his return to the dugout. This Saturday's derby represents the stiffest examination yet of how far they have come. The reverse fixtures between the two clubs earlier this season and had a 1-1 draw, and Besiktas have won 7 of their 9 Super League home matches against Galatasaray at the Topaz Stadium since moving there in 2016. Elsewhere, Chibuike Nwabu of Trabzonspor has seen his market value rise to the career high €7 million following an impressive start since joining the Wolfsberger AC in January. The 22-year-old centre-back, who was playing domestic football in Nigeria with Enyimba as recently as 2 years ago, has scored 2 goals and provided 1 assist in 7 Super League appearances, helping Trabzonspor to 5 wins in that period. Yes, moving on, we have got this coming directly from UEFA, and this is on Real Madrid. UEFA fined Real Madrid €15,000, that is $17,000 on Friday, after one of their fans performed the Nazi salutes before the Champions League match last week. The European football governing body disciplinary board also issued real with a partial stadium closure of 500 seats suspended for 1 year probationary period. UEFA punished Madrid for the racist and or discriminatory behavior of its supporters in the second leg of their playoff round victory over Benfica on February 25. European football governing body said in a statement, they rejected a supporter caught on camera performing a Nazi salute in the stands before the match began. The first leg of the tie was marred by an incident of alleged racism aimed at real winger Vinicius Jr., but by Benfica Gianluca Prestiani, who denies it. Madrid progressed to the last 16, where they will face Premier League side Manchester City. Yes, and now taking this one, our Arsenal can win the Premier League. Yes, a little look on our Arsenal can win this Premier League. Arsenal have strengthened their position in the Premier League title race following their victory over Brighton and over Albion, while champions Manchester City draw points in a draw against Nottingham Forest. The result leaves Mikel Arteta's side in a stronger position with 8 matches remaining in the season, although City still have a game in hand. With the current point situation, Arsenal remain in control of their destiny. If the North London side wins all the remaining matches, they will be crowned champions regardless of Manchester City's result. One of the most decisive features in the title running will be Arsenal's trip to Etihad Stadium in April to face City. The outcome of that encounter could have a significant impact on the direction of the race. If Arsenal secure victory at the Etihad, they would only need to pick up 15 points from their other 7 games to clinch the title, assuming City wins all their remaining matches. However, If the match ends in a draw, Arsenal would need to collect at least 18 points from their remaining 7 fixtures to stay ahead of the defending champions. A defeat in Manchester would place a greater pressure on Arteta's men, as they would then likely need to win all their league matches to maintain the advantage. Another factor that could favour Arsenal is their schedule. The Gunners are set to play most of their remaining league matches in London, with the trip out to Manchester expected to be the only major away test in the closing weeks of the campaign. Still, the run-in could be complicated by other competition, but Champions League fixtures and domestic cup commitments like the test squad depth for both sides. The Premier League run-in is further complicated by the Carabao Cup final at Wembley, where both Arsenal and Manchester City could face another high-stake encounter. The outcome may provide a crucial psychological booster at the winner ahead of the final week of the title race. As the season enters a decisive phase, Arsenal's ability to maintain consistency while navigating a demanding schedule may ultimately determine whether they can secure their first Premier League title since Premier League 2003 and 4 season. Yes, and here's a look of Arsenal's remaining fixtures. On Saturday, 14th of March, Arsenal versus Arsenal goes side by side with Everton. On Saturday, 11th of April, Arsenal versus Bournemouth. On Sunday, 19th of April, Arsenal will face Manchester City. On Saturday, 25th of April, 25th of April, Arsenal will face Newcastle United. On the 2nd of May, that is another Saturday, Arsenal will go side by side with Fulham. On Saturday, the 9th of May, Arsenal will go side by side with West Ham United. On the 17th of May, Arsenal will face Burnley. And finally, on the 24th of May, Arsenal will go side by side with Crystal Palace. Moving on to the remaining features for their title rivals, Manchester City. On Saturday, the 14th of March, Manchester City will go side by side with West Ham. On Sunday, the 12th of April, Manchester City will face Chelsea. On Sunday, the 19th of April, Manchester City will go side by side with Arsenal. On the 26th of April, Manchester City will face Burnley. On Saturday, the 2nd of May, Manchester City will face Everton. On the 9th of May, Manchester City will face Brentford. On the 17th of May, Manchester City will face Bournemouth. And finally, on the 24th of May, Manchester City will go side by side with Aston Villa. Yes, moving on, well, we've got this on Galatasaray, and this is an update about Osimhen and Besiktas and the Liverpool fixtures, of course. Update us a match about Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen ahead of Galatasaray's fixture against Besiktas and Liverpool, respectively. Galatasaray will clash with Besiktas in the Turkish Super League derby this evening before facing Liverpool in the Champions League round of 16 tie on Tuesday. Osimhen missed Galatasaray's win against Allianzspor in the Turkish Cup on Tuesday as the Nigerian international was rested. However, Galatasaray reporter Kaya Temel has now shared details about Osimhen on the 90 Plus digital YouTube channel. Temel had this to say. He said, and I quote, Osimhen is incredibly motivated. He's amazingly energizing the team, and he continues to do so. He motivated his teammates very well in the training. We are making plans definitely to get 3 points from Besiktas derby and further increase our chances of winning the championship. He said, and I quote, yes, moving on, where we've got this on the FA Cup, and this is coming from Alan Shah as he predicts Newcastle versus Manchester City and Chelsea versus Arsenal fixtures. Newcastle United legend Alan Shearer has predicted some of the FA Cup fifth round matches taking place this weekend. Shearer predicted Newcastle to beat Manchester City on Saturday night at the St James Park. The Englishman also backed Chelsea and Arsenal to win their matches against Wrexham and Mansfield Town respectively, providing his prediction for Metro. Shearer said, and I quote, I guess Mikel Arteta will make changes, but I even think the changes that come in, they still have the quality. I do not see shock at Mansfield. No, I think Arsenal will go through with his prediction. And on Wrexham versus Chelsea's game, Shearer said it will be an absolutely rocking on Saturday at the Racehouse ground. I think whatever team he puts out, I think they are still they still have enough to beat Wrexham. Yes, moving on, we have got things on the EPL, and this is on Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi is in the running for Fulham's goal of the month for February. Iwobi will battle 6 other players, Raul Jimenez, Kevin, Jonah Kusiasare, Harrison Reed, Anna Gray, Macaulay Zeppa. For the individual accolade, the 29-year-old clinical strike in Fulham 3-1 win over Sunderland at the Stadium of Light was shortlisted for the award. The versatile midfielder slotted the ball expertly into the net after he was teed up by Harry Wilson. Incidentally, Iwobi last won the award in February 2024. He has scored 4 times and provided 3 assists in the Premier League this season. Yes, moving ahead to the transfer scene, where I've got this. Yes, like I said earlier, moving ahead to the transfer scene. Yes, moving ahead to the transfer scene. We have got this one coming from Martin Odegaard. And 8 Arsenal players that will leave Arsenal this summer. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard has unexpectedly become one of the players the club would be selling this summer. According to recent reports, after the busy summer which saw lots of moves by players, Arsenal are now looking to how much they spent, which over 268 million euros on new signings. They might have to let go of at least one senior player and some academy graduate to make sure their finances are in order. The Telegraph reports that inside talks at the Emirates have found it necessary for at least one first team player to leave to make sure they do not break the FFP rules. In a surprising move, the club captain Odegaard might be sold towards the end of the season. The midfielder still has 2 more years left on his contract with Arsenal, but his reputation has gone down a bit. It said that any bid offer for Odegaard will be seen as a big gain. Academy graduate Ethan Nwaneri, Miles Lewis Kelly could also end up leaving the club. Nwaneri was not getting much playing time at the Emirates and was sent on loan to Marseille. And Lewis Kelly has moved down the list of players Mikel Arteta prefers in his team. Some of the experienced players like Gabriel Martinelli, Ben White, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Leandro Trossard also are likely to leave the team. Martinelli would join for 7 million euros in 2019, and White have been looked at as possible options to bring a big profit after still has 2 more years left on his current contract. But the Arsenal team is thinking about whether they want to keep him by signing a new deal. Jesus and Trossard are both approaching the last year of their contract, which means the team now has the option to either give them longer deals or let them leave for a transfer. Arsenal signed 4 big players during the summer transfer window: Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Eberechi Eze, and Piero Incapié. Although their revenue has gone up to 690.3 million euros, the high wage are costing a bigger expense, so they would need to make more sales. Yes, still on the transfer scene, we have got this on Manchester United. Jesse Lingard. Manchester United have confirmed that their former forward Jesse Lingard has signed for Corinthians in Brazil. The Premier League club revealed this on a post on their official X page yesterday. Lingard moved to Corinthians. Caesar is reunited with his ex-United teammate Memphis Depay. The 33-year-old has been without a club since he left South Korean side FC Seoul in December. During this time in Asia, he scored 19 times in 67 appearances. The midfielder will now continue his career in the Sao Paulo Giants amid interest from European teams. Apart from Depay, Lingard will join a dressing room that also has former Arsenal defender Gabriel Paulista and ex-Watford winger Andre Carrillo. Yes, still talking transfer. Well, we've got this on the EPL. Arsenal, and this is on Arsenal. Arsenal have been pleased. They have been pleased by defender Piero Incapié's development since he joined the Gunners on loan from Bayer Leverkusen and intend to make him their first official summer signing. According to recent reports, the Premier League North London club has already decided to trigger 45 million euro deal to keep Incapié at the club But beyond the summer transfer window, Arsenal had the option to buy Ecuador International on the permanent transfer at the end of the season. In Cup move to Arsenal will therefore be similar to that of goalkeeper David Raya, who initially joined Arsenal on loan from Brentford before he was signed on the permanent transfer the following season. Meanwhile, in another related development, Arsenal reportedly put 4 players: Gabriel Martinelli, Ben White, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Lewis Kelly, up for sale ahead of the summer transfer window, according to recent reports. After spending over €250 last summer, Arsenal know at least one first-team player will be sold this summer in a bid to sign Nkapie on a permanent transfer. The report added that Martinelli and Ben White are both strong candidates in the first team to leave Emirates Stadium, with Nwaneri and Lewis Kelly also at risk of being sold. Martinelli is no longer a guaranteed starter for under manager Mikel Arteta, who also has Ebere Chieze and Leandro Trossard at his disposal, while White has also become an increasingly big part player as Arsenal due to the presence of Julian Timber. Yes, moving on, where I've got this coming from Super Falcons Ajibade. Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has expressed disappointment over the postponement of the 2026 Women African Cup of Nations, the biennial competition, which was initially scheduled to kick off on March 17th, was moved to July by the Confederation of African Football CAF on Thursday. CAF announced that the postponement was due to some unforeseen circumstances. Ajibade took to her social media to express her frustration. She said, and I quote, she wrote, and I quote, African women football deserve better. The Super Falcons play 2 friendlies. The Super Falcons played 2 friendlies against Cameroon last week. Yes, moving on, where I've got this coming from Frank Onyeka. Coventry City head coach Frank Lampard has provided a fitness update on Frank Onyeka ahead of his search trip to Bristol City today. Onyeka picked up a knocker in the Sky Blues 2-1 win over Stoke City at the CBS Arena last weekend. The Nigerian international was replaced by Victor Stop 10 minutes after the break. Lampard said after the game that the defensive midfielder is battling with fatigue. The former England international revealed that the 28-year-old had not trained much this week. He said, and I quote, Onyeka hasn't trained much this week, but he's due to train today, Friday. So we will see how it is tomorrow. And that was coming from no other person but Coventry City's head coach, Frank Lampard. Yes, moving on, where we've got this on Christian Uche as he will return to Getafe this summer after the completion of his loan stint with Crystal Palace. Uche moved to the Sellers back on loan last summer. Has struggled for regular playing time at the club. The attacking midfielder would have had start 10 Premier League matches for the obligatory option to be triggered. The Nigerian international is, however, yet to start a league game for Palace. Uche has made 14 league appearances for the Eagles also as a substitute, and Getafe will also need to sell him to ease their financial pressure. Yes, moving on, well, we've got this on the sinking Spurs, and that is no other person but Tottenham Hotspur, and this is coming from Tottenham Hotspur striker Oh, this is coming from Tudor. Tottenham Hotspur striker Dominic Solanke said that the team no longer have any excuses after their Premier League survivor. Hopes took another blow with a 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace on Thursday. Spurs, one of the richest teams in Europe, and following from the member of the Premier League, are just 1 point above the relegation zone, and without a domestic win in 2026. Solanke had this to say. He told newsmen, he said, and I quote, "We just have had a biggest conversation. We've just had a big conversation. We know the position we are in is definitely not where we want to be." He said, and we need to figure out how we're going to get out of it as soon as possible. We know there's been difficulties, but we are not in the position to make any excuses anymore. We need to do our jobs on the pitch. It is easy to say we want to be better, but we want to be better on the pitch. We need to fight and realize the position we are in. We know the club is not used to being in this position, so we need to understand it and understand it's not going to be easy, and we need to fight every single game, every single minute to make sure we improve. Spurs' latest defeat was the 5th in a row and the 3rd under new coach Igor Tudor, who was also tasked with the responsibility of turning the season around. He was at his team capitulated in the front of the home crowd at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, conceding 3 goals in the first half, having taken the lead and then gone down to 10 men when Mickey Van de Ven was sent off. Palace took full advantage by scoring 3 times in 7 minutes before the break. This was after Solanke had given Spurs at the lead in the 34th minute. Van de Ven was red-carded 4 minutes later for bringing down Sarr in the box, and Palace took control. Yes, moving on, where we've got this on the FA Cup quarterfinals, and this is on Liverpool and Wolverhampton Wanderers match. Liverpool cruised into the FA Cup quarterfinals with a dominant second half display against Wolves to keep them alive, their hopes for salvaging this season. The Reds have suffered the last gasp defeat in the Premier League at the Monarchs on Tuesday, but gained revenge to reach the last 8 after a forgettable first half where they struggled for creativity and energy. The visitors then raced to a 2-0 lead within 10 minutes of the restart. Andy Robertson collected Curtis Jones' pass and rifled into the bottom corner for the 25 yards for his first goal since September, before Mohamed Salah struck 95 seconds later. The Scotland international has only started 5 league games this season and almost joined Tottenham in January, but underlined why he has been so crucial to Liverpool's success since joining Hull in 2017. Moments later, he crossed for Salah to find the roof of the net with a goal given after a video assistant referee VAR check for offside. Midfielder Jones netted the 3rd when he called in from the edge of the area with 16 minutes left before Ethan Wang pulled a goal back for Wolves in injury time. The defending Premier League champions are 6th on the table with the FA Cup and Champions League. Their remaining hope of silverware this season. They go to Galatasaray to Champions League last 16 on Tuesday. Yes, moving on, we have got this on Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen as he has emerged as the possible transfer target for Barcelona as the Catalan Giants begin planning for life after Robert Lewandowski Afrique Foot reports. The free-scoring Super Eagle forward is among several forwards being monitored as backup prepare for a long-term rebuilding attack. Barcelona's recruitment team have started exploring options ahead of the summer transfer window, with Victor Victor Osimhen, regarded as one of the names under consideration. The Nigerian international is not currently at the top of the club shortlist, but he is viewed as a realistic alternative should their primary target prove difficult to secure. Lewandowski is widely expected to leave Barcelona when his contract expires at the end of the season. The Polish striker has been one of the club's most reliable performances, joining from Bayern Munich in 2022, scoring 115 goals in 179 appearances. Yet the veteran forward turns 38 in August, and Barcelona know they must begin planning for the future. Yes, moving away from the world of soccer and moving to the world of basketball, where we've got this on the Tigers. The Nigerian Tigers have dropped to 53rd position in the latest International Basketball Federation World Ranking. The Tigers were previously ranked 50th in the world. They, however, maintained 8th position in Africa despite the slip in the global ranking. South Sudan, Angola, Ivory Coast, Egypt, Senegal, Cape Verde, Tunisia are the 7 countries ranked ahead of Nigeria in Africa. Cameroon and Mali complete Africa's top 10 in the rankings. The United States of America maintain top position in the global rankings. Yeah, still talking basketball. Well, I've got this on LeBron James. LeBron James has broken the record for the most field goals made in NBA history through the latest milestone in his glittering career. He did not stop the Los Angeles Lakers from crashing 120 to 113 to the Denver Nuggets. James, who already had the NBA all-time points record, sailed past Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 15,837 field goals with a fadeaway jumper in the first quarter. The 241-year-old has played a record 23 NBA seasons and has stoked rumors of possible retirement in recent weeks. Telling reports in January, I do not know what the future holds. LeBron James, who scored 16 points in Thursday loss, appeared to enjoy his left elbow in the fourth quarter after he shunted off the court and landed on the legs of a cameraman. Play was halted as he was substituted out. LeBron James returned to the court for the game final 2 minutes, but in evident pain. It was a wire-to-wire win for Nuggets through the Lakers, although the Lakers had close to within 1 point with their 2 minutes remaining. Nikola Jokic said, and I quote, "They're a difficult team to win," after they grabbed another triple-double, including 28 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds. Yes, moving away from the world of basketball to the world of wrestling, where I've got this on Adesanya from a two-time UFC middleweight champion. Israel Adesanya has demanded $15 million per fight for the UFC president Dana White, pointing to the reported payday handed to British boxer Conor Benn by Super Boxing, the same company that runs UFC, as justification for its demand. Benn is reported to have been guaranteed $15 million for the single fight under Zuffa Boxing, and Adesanya speaking on his YouTube channel, said the figures made clear what fighters of his caliber deserve. He said, and I quote, super boxing in next challenge he set his eyes on. But with that being said, don't forget what brought you to the game. This is what got him to be Dana White, the UFC president. These guys are top class boxers. They are the best in the world, and what they are and what they do, but so are we. This is UFC, and if one guy can command that kind of money for a fight that from the same company, super, I don't feel jaded, but I'm like I want 50 million euros for that same fight too, and that was coming from no other person but Israel Adesanya. And now moving on to the results of the fixtures that were played yesterday, and starting from the 6th of March, that is yesterday, from the FA Cup, of course, the 5th round, where Wolverhampton Wanderers and Liverpool played side by side, but Liverpool won against Wolverhampton Wanderers with a victory of 3-1. And moving on to matches that will be played today, talking FA Cup, of course, where Mansfield Town versus Arsenal kicks off by 12:15 p.m. Wrexham versus Chelsea by 5:45 p.m. Newcastle United versus Manchester City by 8 p.m. Talking fixtures, of course, and talking matches that will be played tomorrow, where we've got this on the FA Cup, the 5th round, of course, where Fulham and Southampton, Fulham versus Southampton will kick off by 12 p.m. Port Vale versus Sunderland will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Leeds United versus Norwich City will kick off by 4:30 p.m. Moving on, we have quickly got this one on the world of soccer, and this one is coming from JJ Okocha. Yes, moving on, we have got this on the WAFCON, and this is coming directly from the Confederation of African Football, as they are considering alternative hosts for the 2026 Women African Cup of Nations, following the postponement of the tournament, amid the growing uncertainty over whether Morocco will retain its hosting rights. CAF confirmed recently that the competition, originally scheduled to hold between March 17th and April 3rd, will not take place on the 25th of July to August 16th. After consultations with FIFA and other stakeholders, our continental governing body only announced the change of the tournament dates. Questions have emerged about Morocco's ability to stage a competition within the new time frame, prompting discussions about possible alternatives. Recent news reported that Moroccan authorities had internally informed CAF weeks earlier that the country could not host the tournament in March due to logistical challenges and scheduling conflict with other football activities. They said, and I quote, the outlet reported, and I quote, for several weeks now, Morocco has announced internally that it cannot organize the event in March, citing a logistical and field issue with the men's champions games, or the commitment already made during the international break in March, with 6th edition of Morocco, capital of African football, where 8 selections will compete in Casablanca and Rabat. The report added that CAF had quietly explored contingency options in case Morocco withdrew from hosting duties. Aware of the problem, CAF had discreetly surveyed several countries to have a plan B besides South Africa. An African Confederation had even informally asked Algeria if it was potentially interested, but it denied. The uncertainty as for the feud speculations about the tension between CAF President Patrice Motsepe and Moroccan footballer chief Fawzi Lekja, with discussions over tournament calendar reportedly reaching the stalemate before the postponement was finally announced. Yes, moving on in the world of soccer, where I've got it from Lazio manager Maurizio Sarri, as he has heaped praises on Super Eagles midfielder Faisayo Bashiru after the Nigerian international ended a 13-month goal drought in a spectacular fashion, chipping the Atlanta goalkeeper to break the deadlock in a 2-2 Coppa Italia semi-final fast leg draw at the Stadio Olimpiaco on Wednesday night. Dele Bashiru, delegate finished in the 47th minute, barely a minute into the second half, was his first goal for the club since February 9, 2026, when he scored against AC Monza in Syria, making the wait all the more sweeter for the midfielder and his manager. Sarri was effusive in his assessment of Dele Bashiru's threat when he was given license to get forward, pinpointing the midfielder electric pace as a weapon capable of unsettling any defense in Europe. Yes, and with that final story, we've come to a wrap on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this morning. Many thanks to those who tuned in and consistently tune in to listen to Sports Diaries on iPower 102.7 FM. Until next time, I remain your favorite sports diva. Keep loving the game and stay sporting. God bless you.
Station music news, sports and entertainment. We are high power 102.7 FM, the pride of the people.